So I decided to do my reflection at the end of my digital journal this way instead of just typing it up. So I believe that the priority conservation goals for the Harsens Island marsh would be managing and preventing invasive species. I know Phragmites is a big concern there. I witnessed it when I went, and it would definitely be debilitating to let it get out of control. I know they have prescribed burns, so I'm not exactly 100% sure their full reasoning for doing that, but I would guess that controlling the Phragmites population might have to do with some of it. I also think that keeping the water clean and the marsh clean is a big conservation goal. When I was there, when I was alongside the road, there was a lot of trash from just people that have been there either hunting or exploring or something. So that's just always a concern. I think that the value of the websites that you showed us and the research part of this assignment is huge. If I would have just went to the site and tried to do what we had to do, I would have been totally lost. So research was definitely key for this. The virtual data also, that helped a lot. The websites were great in identifying certain plant and animal species. I'm not the greatest at identifying plant species, so this helped out a lot. And I think that this can really help scientists who are doing research in the field, because it's great to have such a big data source right at your fingertips. You don't have to carry around a giant book, an atlas or something. The MNFI website is great to have because they document everything. And then same with the Michigan Flora website and the Explorer website. It's great to just have. You can pull it up on your phone, on a laptop. You can do your research ahead of time and take snapshots of it. So when you're in the field, you could just have it as pictures to look through. Or you can just do your research like we did and then come back and analyze your information and use the resources that way. So I think it really opens up doors for scientists. The two virtual resources that I used the most were the Michigan Flora website and the NatureServe Explorer. Those were definitely key in helping me identify plant species and animal species. And I had no idea that they existed. So I definitely see myself using these later on down the road, whether it be in another class, whether it be when I'm hiking by myself, or in the field after I graduate or something. I also use the MNFI website a lot, but that's because I got my initial abstract of the Great Lakes Marsh through that, but that was very valuable too, and I had no idea that that website existed either. I think that the value of visiting a field site and gaining the hands-on experience was really important. I thought this was a great assignment to have because this class doesn't have a field course or a field, we don't have field trips or anything, and it's a bummer that we don't, because I had a blast tromping around in my marsh. It was good. So 3 values I gained from that would be planning a date smartly. I went on opening day for waterfowl hunting, and waterfowl hunting is huge at Harsens Island. So although I was still able to do my project and I saw a lot of things, it definitely stopped me from exploring further into the marsh, because I didn't want to run into any hunters. I didn't want to make anybody mad by scaring birds or by getting in their way, and I definitely didn't want to get hurt. So I stayed closer to the road, stayed mostly along the front dikes. So the planning ahead for that part is definitely a big case, and also the planning ahead with as far as research goes too. That was a part of this assignment, but I definitely learned that before you go out into the field, whether it's for an assignment or your job, to always plan ahead and do your research. I also learned that like going out into the field is great for visual learning. I used all five, well, not all five, I didn't taste anything, but I used way more of my senses than I would just sitting in a lecture listening to a professor talk. Or even, I know we interact with like our peers and the professors, but you're still just like listening. So actually being in the field really helped me learn more in depth about wetlands, specifically about my wetland that I studied, the Harsens Island Marsh. It was definitely different being in the field and feeling the air and the smell of things and seeing and hearing birds everywhere, stepping on a snake and watching it slither away. That's way different than sitting in a lecture. So I definitely learned the value of visual learning a lot. I did a study away to Yellowstone, and so I think that I had already learned that the value of visual learning and actually being in places is better than just sitting in a classroom and learning about it. But this also enhanced that. And then the third value I learned was a sense of appreciation. And I think that this is really important because if you visit a place, you become more attached to it and you care about the ecosystem more than if you've never been there. I think that this can tie in with conservation. It's not that I didn't care about the marsh beforehand, but for example, people in the lower peninsula they have never seen a wolf in the UP. They've never been up to the UP, and they certainly haven't owned animals that have gotten killed by wolves. And so if they went to the UP and experienced what it's like up there, maybe they witnessed a wolf, maybe they talked to livestock owners who have had death experiences with their livestock, then they would care more about the people who are dealing with the consequences that come with large predators in the ecosystem. So that's just a quick example I can think of, but I just think that it's really key in conservation work to get people to care about what we're trying to conserve and what we're trying to keep for generations to come down the road, because if they don't value it, then they're not going to want to keep it around. So I definitely think that going somewhere would make you value it more, and you would gain a greater sense of appreciation for the place. I know I definitely gained a greater sense of appreciation. I've been going to Harsens Island since I was, 6 years old, and I had never set foot on the marsh. I had mainly just stayed on private property that a relative has owned, and I fished, and I loved it, but it really opened up my eyes to what else is there and how much diversity of species is there. And the next time I go to Harsens Island to go fishing, I will definitely be taking a trip to explore the marsh on my own, just for fun, to see what I can find on a day that hunters aren't everywhere. So yeah, it was great. So I really enjoyed this assignment, so thank you.